Thanks for staying on News Desk. Time now for us to check out some information coming in. And the minority in Parliament is calling on Parliament to exercise greater oversight over the IMF conditionalities. Let's get the very latest from parliamentary correspondent Elton John Robe, who joins me live now on the ground. So, Elton, can you tell us what the minority has been saying so far?
Yeah, I think you're aware about this government program of the IMF, that's the Extended Credit Facility, that is running for the next 3 years. Now, sometime back, the minority held a news conference and demanded that the document be put before Parliament for the House to approve of it before government would commence the event. Now, government government responded by saying that the Extended Credit Facility is purely an issue between the IMF and the Bank of Ghana, and therefore does not require parliamentary approval. Now, today they've come back to say that they've discovered some issues that were never disclosed to Ghanaians by government contained in the IMF report released recently. And they've mentioned 3 issues, and in their estimation, these new discoveries require a government to come before Parliament and get the approval of the House. One of the issues they are talking about, they are saying that for the first time in many years, they've discovered that the Bank of Ghana has paid dividends to government, and they are talking about an amount of 500 million Ghana cedis. And this, according to them, this spending is unanticipated inflow and must be approved by Parliament. Now, they are saying that government intends to use this dividend paid to it by the Bank of Ghana, amounting to 0.4% of GDP, to cover the damage of the June 2015 flood disaster. And government also intends to use the remainder to clear parts of the newly identified arrears with the bulk oil importers and the question they're asking is who authorized these spending, because Parliament was never informed about this particular issue. They've also said that government has borrowed some amount of money from Smith, and this is amounting to 914 million Ghana cedis, about 0.9% of GDP. And this was done in December 2014. And this wasn't ever disclosed to Parliament, but it's contained in the IMF report on the Extended Credit Facility. And finally, they are saying that government has requested that the IMF raise the debt limit on non-concessional loans for the rest of 2015 from $1 billion to $2.5 billion, ostensibly, according to them, to allow government the space to issue a larger Eurobond and also to borrow more externally. And they think that these are financial issues that government is committed to put Ghana into, and they require parliamentary approval. So these are the 3 issues that they think that requires Parliament to look into the government 3-year extended credit facility with the IMF. They've also been speaking about the Eurobond issued by government, and they think that the interest involved doesn't make it right for government to be issuing this Eurobond, because it is actually going to send Ghana into more debt.
Many thanks for that update, Elton John Robe, giving us the very latest from Parliament there. And we'll bring you much more on this on the midday news. But time now for us to look at some other stories. And the Ghana Health Service says it has successfully tested a food supplement for breastfeeding infants that should significantly help address malnutrition in the country's children. The startup meal, the outcome of a 6-year joint project undertaken in rural Ghana, is one of several initiatives to address malnutrition in children and infant mortality.
Supplementing breastfeeding infants' meal has remained a major challenge for many parents, compelling most mothers to experiment. Research, however, shows most of these experimented meals have contributed significantly to malnutrition in infants. The effects, according to health experts, is stunting and anemia among children. The Department of Nutrition and Food Science, University of Ghana, with support from development partners and the Ghana Health Service, after a joint complementary food project which lasted 6 years, has however been able to settle on a highly nutritious supplement.
So we have this product does not mean that we cannot use other locally available complementary food. What is important is the fact that whatever food a household decides to feed to the child, one must have the required nutrients, in the sense that there should be variety, so that all the needed micronutrients will be available. There will be protein, and as I indicated, the food will be nutrient dense. because one should remember that babies have very small stomachs. They are unable to eat large quantities of food at a time, and therefore whatever food you are given should be very nutrient dense, so that the little that the child takes provides all the needed nutrients. So the other local foods should be improved in the sense that other things must be added.
The projects dubbed Joint Complementary Food Projects was undertaken in 3 districts of the Central Region. Infants in selected communities were fed with a specially developed starter food supplement, and the results, according to the project team lead, was positive.
It's a survey that has been, and the Ghana Service has been championing the efforts to improve this. And again, researchers like we are doing, we're also trying to help this way. And that is what makes this project that we did actually very important. Where stakeholders of different backgrounds, we have partners like from academia, the University of Ghana was involved in it, UCC was involved in it, NGOs, international NGOs like International Nutrition Foundation, and the private companies like Ajinomoto and Yedent. We are all involved in this. And again, we have developing partners like Plan, Care, etc., coming together to implement a project that is hoping to address malnutrition, like the stunting, which is actually the critical thing that we have around.
The starter food supplement is expected to be adopted by policymakers in order to make it available, accessible and affordable to parents to help improve the nutritional status of children in Ghana.
And now to our earlier story of the NDC Member of Parliament for Amenfi West in the Western Region, John Jetua, who is said to have died, and he's reported to have died Tuesday afternoon after a short illness. Wife of the late MP told sister station Adom FM the MP was rushed to the hospital when they found him unconscious in his room on Tuesday. The late MP was appointed Minister of State at the presidency by late Professor Mills in 2010. He left behind a wife and 7 children. Well, like I said earlier, the Electoral Commission is expected to set a date for a by-election after an official notification from Parliament. On the subject, Member of Parliament for the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency, Emmanuel Chemating Ejako, has this morning on the AM show been sharing some fond memories of the late MP.
Was very self-effacing, very quiet, very modest in his, and I noticed that he had not been too well, and I asked him, I am a health professional, so I could have some discussions with him.
But he was still coming to Parliament?
He was still coming. I mean, he was coming to committee meetings. Okay. The last time we went to a meeting, he was there. He came late, albeit he came late, but he was there. The last...
This was when?
Oh, 2 weeks ago we had a meeting in a men's big hotel. He was there.
But he looked well?
He looked a little slow. He looked a little... I mean, you could say that maybe he had been ill and he was recovering.
Okay.
Okay. So you are slowed down, but it has come as a big shock to me. The last conversation I had with him was I was asking him whether he was going to contest again. He's a third term and people was seeking a 4th term.
Was he going to go again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which means if he has been vetted or so, yeah, that's what it means.
He probably
has been vetted, yeah.
I am sorry. I feel hurt by his loss. I pray that the good Lord will console his wife, his children, and his family. I know he's an acquaintance, and I feel pained by his passing away. May he rest in peace.
Well, may he so rest in peace there. And that's how we wrap up News Desk here on Joy News Multi TV. For more news, do well to log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Kwabna Chenchen Boatin. But do stay on. Jennifer Jane Asante comes up shortly with Joy News Interactive.